everyone, to the last day of JDC 2015. I'm going to start off by thanking our judges who are sitting up here in the front row. We have Jeff Dixon from the Victoria Airport Authority, Daniela Kubalek from Silk Road Tea. We have Dr. Sheila, he's an independent financial professional. We have Ralph Peterman from the University of Beijing, and Dr. Knudsen from Royal Roads University. To start off, competitors, you have 20 minutes for your presentation, followed by a 5-minute Q&A. We have the volunteer timekeeper sitting there in the third row. She will hold up time guards to tell you how much time is left in your presentation and stop you if you exceed that time. For the audience to start, I know you're sitting in chairs that spin and lean back, kind of comfortable, but they're old and they squeak and it's really loud for the competitors we're presenting. So I'm just going to ask that you sit as still as you can. Of course, no commenting during the presentation, no cell phones, no photo taking. Please don't try and speak to the competitors. Not allowed to wear anything that represents your university or a competing university. And when you exit the room, I ask that you do it quietly through the back door and in the hallway outside. If you could please keep quiet and exit it as fast as you can, because there are other presentations going on at the same time. And to conclude, competitors, you can start when you're ready.
Adaptability, coordination, and business-to-consumer revenue growth. 3 concepts that are key themes of our presentation today. I'd like you to focus on them. So we'll begin. I would like to thank everyone from Dragon's Pass for joining us today. We're very excited to discuss your business. My name is Darren. I'm here with my associates, Rachel and Bill, and together we form Arrowhead Consulting. Now, we'd like to stress how impressed we are with your business and what you've been able to do in the business-to-business, within the business-to-business model. You have a very innovative service and a great customer experience that has led you to be very successful. Now, this brings up the main challenge that your company is facing right now. How does Dragon's Pass prepare their business for the next stage of growth through this business-to-consumer model on a global scale? This begins, or to begin our presentation, we're going to discuss some of the secondary challenges that we identified within this main issue. Starting off with managing a growing list of global suppliers, adapting to international cultures that within many different countries, your service will be available to consumers in North America, Asia, all have different preferences, and this service needs to be adaptable. As well as marketing this product. It's a new product in the business-to-consumer area. It has to be marketable to these new consumers. So within our analysis, we identified some key areas of your company that need to be capitalized on in order for our recommendation to be successful. The first being customer experience. You have been able to provide a service that has been appreciated by your customers because of its convenience and the great value that it provides. The customer experience has to be there with our recommendation, as well as cost efficiency. Once again, in comparison to other products, you've shown you've been a leader in cost efficiency in being able to attract these suppliers, the different private lounges at airports all across the world, and package them at a very low-cost, efficient model that your consumers really appreciate. Now, some of the areas that we identified as areas for improvement within your organization are the knowledge of the consumer travel industry. Now, this can be accomplished through data mining and getting to know your consumer, as well as the logistical coordination of managing the suppliers that you have all over the world, an organizational structure that will allow for flow of information from your suppliers, these private lounges in North America, Asia, all over the world. There has to be that flow of information. Now, within the industry that you are operating in right now, the globalization of this industry has allowed for travel and immigration all over the world. We've seen an increased amount of consumers travel, or an increased amount of consumers being accessible and available to travel, and this has led to the emerging middle class pushing this economy class airfare industry, as well as technology platforms. Travel options are more accessible than they've ever been before through internet, different applications. These technology platforms give you the opportunity to grow your business. The threats that we see within this industry are the global consumer preferences, and by trying to create a universal global service, there's the possibility that some of their considerations would not be incorporated into your plan. Now, we need to make sure, or your company needs to make sure that global consumer preferences are absolutely incorporated. New market entrants, your product and service was an innovative market leader at this time. Moving forward, because you've been so successful, we do expect new market entrants, and you need to have a unique value proposition moving forward that will allow you to stand off these competitors that will be entering the market. This, of course, brings me to the decision criteria that we identified in making our strategic recommendation to you today. Adaptable customer experience. Consumers around the world have to felt like their considerations specifically have been taken into consideration. Coordination of information between your various suppliers, once again, setting up the logistical network to have that flow back of information from lounges in North America, lounges in Asia. That has to be there, as well as, this is a major consideration. You want to see a majority of your growth through the business-to-consumer business model, and revenue growth is going to allow us to measure that growth. So at this time, I would like to invite my associate Rachel up here to discuss some of the strategic alternatives we considered in making our recommendation.
So after analyzing the strengths of your company and looking at all the opportunities at hand, we have come up with 3 unique alternatives to attract this new target market and bring your company into the future. These alternatives include, 1, a form of direct marketing in order to have a physical presence with your consumers and attract them by building those relationships. Second, a B2C online focus, and really leveraging new technology that you could build in-house in order to attract the new consumers in this way. And third, a focus on experience and focusing on that excellent service quality that you have by outsourcing basic marketing and billing functions that aren't your core competencies. So moving on to the first alternative, direct marketing. Your company has made a proposition to enter the markets you are currently in and in a physical way, and create locations that would be a liaison between the company and your new consumers. This would be able to leverage that strength you have of having really strong customer service and also developing strong supplier relationships. As well, this may have a high initial investment because you are entering these markets and creating somewhat of a physical travel agency in order to connect with your consumers. But the method of data collection will not be as strong because it will be on a physical basis and not online, and you will have to have an increased amount of employees to work at these new locations. You can see in the financial metrics of this alternative that there is a higher capital investment at the beginning of this option, as well as revenue growth is at 5%, giving you an NPV of $4.31 million over 5 years. So moving on to the second alternative, which is the B2C online focus. Now, in this alternative, you would be developing an in-house marketing network which would really have a low amount of investment. It would allow you to have a centralized marketing strategy and really have the advantage of having an efficient way of data collection. Although there is a lack of physical presence, you're not being able to have this really strong customer relationships that you have had in the past with your customers. And there's a low adaptability to the experience since it is a centralized approach. And the marketing functions aren't really a strength of your company, so developing that would have to take an increased amount of employees and a development of new knowledge. You can see that the financials here, there is a low investment at the beginning, also low startup revenue, but the increase in growth is higher at 7%. And moving into the third alternative, this is the experience focus, where you would focus on your core strength of customer service and service quality and outsource those basic marketing and billing functions to an online travel agency, which you would strategically partner with. And these companies would be either a company like Expedia or Travelocity, which could do your marketing and billing for you and give you the additional resources you need to have really strong customer relationship or supplier relationships and really have the resources to develop your service. You'd be able to focus on your core competency, have a very efficient way of data collection, and adapt your experiences based on each market by partnering with different travel agencies within each of the countries you are positioned in. There is a little bit of lack of control with this option since you are attached to the name of your partner, and their customer service levels could affect your customer service levels. As well, the partnerships are added relationship management that you will have to deal with, and you will be removed from the point of sale. In this alternative, you have a medium amount of capital investment, but you can see that your revenue growth will be at 10% at the end of 5 years. Looking at the decision matrix, you can see that the direct marketing does have that customer service, but does not hit your other key decision criteria. And the B2B online does not give you the ability to have those customer service relationships you have had in the past. So we do believe that the best option for your company to move forward is to focus on creating an adaptable customer experience by outsourcing your basic marketing and billing functions to online travel companies. This will allow you to achieve your objectives of adapting to cultural differences, coordinating with the global suppliers, and achieving that B2B, B2C revenue growth that is your goal to achieve. Now my associate Bill will come up and speak about the implementation of our plan.
Now that we've been able to give you our recommendation, I'm pleased to discuss with you our implementation plan, looking at an immediate, short-term, and long-term time frame. I'd like to draw your attention to the screen to see our areas of innovation, starting with the bottom gear, the people. The people of your organization, but not only the people of your organization, your suppliers' organizations, their customers, and the customers that you're going to be providing to in the business-to-consumer market that are going to drive processes that your business currently has and will be able to implement in the business-to-consumer market to provide that product, and that product is experience. The experience that the customer has when they go to your lounge network using the Dragon Pass. Now, the immediate time frame, people. Looking at an online partnership with a travel company that will allow you to have them searching by volume, of course, by region, to ensure that you have the partnership that will allow you to reach the most amount of people that are traveling between different geographic areas, as well as supplier relationship centers, and this will, again, focus on your supplier relationship, your supplier network. The processes, data management, the IT infrastructure, these are very important because you're going to have a lot of information that is going to be coming at you, especially with the increased volume from having this online strategic partner and a marketing plan, which I will touch on. Lounge education program. And this is just focusing on the experience again, because we know that experience is your product. So ensuring that all the lounges know how to treat different people from different cultures, from different backgrounds, and different ways of thinking right when they come in. New membership packages, allowing customizable membership packages that will differ from the business-to-business customer. Now our marketing plan. Of course, our target, the price-conscious, frequent flyer, and the value proposition that you're going to provide to them. The full-service lounge adapted to the personalization of their needs. And this is a personalization where you come in, you show them the app and your membership, the card with your membership, and right away, the person that is helping you knows where you're from, what you're about, how often you fly, where you fly, if you've been to that location before, and they can say, "Hi, Mr. Jones, welcome back to Victoria. Would you like to take a seat at the bar as you usually do, or would you like a seat in the restaurant?" Looking at the medium, the travel agency websites, you have to ensure that you choose the right travel medium, as they will be, in turn, somewhat representing your brand as well, so you want to ensure that there's a best fit on that. And promotion, the low cost and the focus on the rewards program. Of course, that lounge education program that I touched on earlier, ensuring that all the lounge staff are adequately educated in cultural sensitivity. And this is very important as you have different regions that you're going to be providing to, as well as the knowledge of the loyalty program so that they can educate the consumer on what they're actually getting with their membership and creating that extra value, as well as updates on the consumer habits so that they know where the consumer trends are going and how to deal with them effectively. Now that short-term relationship with that travel partner and ensuring that you have the appropriate cultural expertise. And so touching on the relationship, of course you want to continue that relationship with your strategic travel partner that you will be having. And the cultural expertise is because you want to know that every time a customer comes into one of your 700 lounges, hopefully more than 700 by the end of this, 700 lounges, that they will be treated the way that they want to be treated, and does not matter where they are geographically. Now, agreement with the travel partner for the information access, you want to ensure that you have the information available to you to know where to send your product, to market your product, and to adapt going into the future, and shift some staff to the business-to-consumer departments for trend analysis. You don't need as much on the business-to-business side, as you're very confident in that. Now, allowing yourself to grow into this business-to-consumer market is important to have some staff over on that side. The loyalty program and the lower entry cost revenue model for the business-to-B program or business-to-consumer program, which I will touch on later. Now, looking long-term. This is going on past your 3 years because, of course, we want to meet your 3-year strategy, but we don't want to stop there. We want to grow into the future. Expanding those supplier centers. And this could also include expanding those supplier centers to have customer relation centers. You're going to be dealing with much more relationships than just your B2B customers. You're going to be dealing with thousands of business-to-consumer customers. So this is an expansion that we could look at in the future. Performance measures, ensuring that you're performing the way that you want and the way that you deserve to be as you have those core competencies that you should show. And supplier network development. Supplier network development, that's growing this supplier network, as I said, the 700 plus, that will be growing into new markets, new countries, as well as the business-to-consumer market, entering all of your business-to-business markets that you currently already have, and the customs experience based on the operations. Now, again, with the growth strategy, looking at the Asia-Pacific emerging middle classes, we're going to see a lot of economy flights coming because people want to be traveling and doing things that their income will allow them to do, as well as the European high-traffic economy travel. Traveling between countries, we understand that there is other forms of transportation. However, this will be much faster for them, and they'll have the added benefit of being able to use your lounges. Now, I'd like to take a look up at the screen, a pre-implementation budget. As you can see, totaling roughly $8 million, and this is over the course of the 3 years going into the future. And I encourage you to ask questions at the question and answer period. Of course, our contingency plan. We know that the economy flight volumes can decrease. And this is where you will leverage your current B2B network that you already have, and because business travelers, they have to fly regardless of what the price is. If you need to go do a business, you need to fly, and they will continue to pay. So if your economy flight volumes decrease, you'll still be able to leverage that portion of your business. The difficulty of attaining a travel partner. We understand that this could be an issue. However, pursuing sites who represent your best fit instead of sites based on volume would be a way to change your path on that, but still have that strategic partner. Now, customer complaint increase. You know that your complaints are very minimal and we want to keep them that way. However, if they do increase, supplier relationship centers, as I said, to host those customer service relations people. Your core competencies lie in the business-to-business market right now. But what we have at hand is an opportunity to grow into the business-to-consumer market and have that done through a strategic partner which will allow you to achieve your 3 objectives: adapting to the cultural differences, coordinating with your global supplier network, and of course that business-to-consumer revenue growth. Now I speak on behalf of the entire team. I want to thank you for taking the time today to hear our presentation. We're very excited to be a part of your plan going forward, and we look forward to implementing.
Time's up, sorry.
All right, so that means placeholding until after the Q&A. Concludes the 20-minute presentation. Judges will have 5 minutes for questions.
So, interesting strategy in terms of shifting the distribution to something like an Expedia or now I didn't completely understand, does the Dragon Pass disappear as a new product, and or who manages that through? Is that something the travel agency, the distribution company takes ownership of, or does do we continue to do that?
Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked, because what we want to do is be able to have the strategic partner. You integrate with them, so while they are your consumers going through the booking process, they will have an option similar to how they have options for flight travel insurance, things such as that nature. You'll be able to see an opportunity for Dragon Pass, information about it, as well as special offers. You want to get those consumers to try that product, and once they try that product, we know that your service will blow them away, and they will continue to use that service.
So we still own the product?
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a question about the implementation budget. Half of it goes into marketing development. Can you tell us a little bit what that means? What kind of expenditures do you see there?
Now, the main expenditures that we included in the marketing development were the costs associated with preparing your product and its presence on the website of Expedia. We know this is going to be a relationship that requires some investment from both sides. We think there's an opportunity to add a lot of value to Expedia by providing this service, but as we just said, we want your product to be represented properly on the Expedia websites within the North American markets. We've also looked at some other large travel sites in different geographic areas that will allow you to access more consumers. And the main thing is developing this function of being able to purchase your product through their websites.
I can see you getting in trouble in 2 very different ways. One is you partner with Expedia or whoever it is, and it goes up on their website and nobody reacts. You know, they're given an option of choosing you, and they pass right by and say, forget that. Okay, so that's one possibility. So all your effort in. The alternative possibility is everybody loves you. And you have a zillion people all coming to your lounges. And your lounge managers are saying, where did this mob come from? And they don't look like our customers. And especially through a site like Expedia, which has a very much of a mass base. That might be. So how would you handle both of those problems? You know, either way, because it could go either way.
So to first address the first side of your question, if they were not to pick the option, we have, as we stated, we have over the 3 years of implementation, a $5 million budget allocated to the development of this partnership and the marketing associated with it. So we are part of this contract would be to develop ads within Expedia to advertise not only when you're going through the booking process, but also on other areas of the website in order to mitigate that risk, as well as with the overpopulation of the lounges. We still do believe that there are, you can only have as much, you can only take on as much capacity as your lounge can allow for. So as you see the growth continuing, you would either have to consider expanding or just have a cap on the number of driving passes that are available per month and stop the continuance or overabundance of people in the lounges in that way.
So just so I understand, you are not using an exclusive strategy targeting the rich and famous traveler, as it were. You're just making it open to anybody who wants to pay whatever the going rate is and become a member. Is that correct? It's wide open.
Yes, absolutely. All of the consumers within this economy class airfare is the major area we wanted to target in the business to consumer